Right, you're welcome back. Time to take a look at the headlines, and that's how we start the show every morning. University of Lagos lecturer, philosophy lecturer, Dr. Dan Ekere is with us in the studio. Good morning.
Dr.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good
nice
morning.
to see you.
Yeah,
You look very fresh this morning.
Thank you. And you too. You look good.
Well rested, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
All right, the Punch. We'll start with the Punch newspaper this morning. ACF asks Buhari to probe killing of nearly 100 soldiers by Boko Haram. And no army can have enough equipment for operations. Buratai, the chief of army staff, is saying that. Well, Nigerians are still trying to grapple with the possibility. How did it happen that about 100 soldiers, or maybe a little above 100 soldiers, were killed, you know, by terrorists?
Thanks. I think that that was one news that came, you know, with such trauma to Nigerians that those we trusted our lives to protect are being decimated, you know. So it became such a worrisome, you know, scenario. But then you begin to wonder, Boko Haram now attacking military bases, killing soldiers as if they were just killing unarmed people.
Yes.
So you begin to wonder, is it that they are not prepared? Were they overwhelmed by virtue of number? Is it a function of, and in some cases we do hear that they even notify them.
Exactly, and there's another
signals.
Notification while we speak. There's another notification already. That was
so
out there yesterday. But when Buratai, the chief of army staff, says no army can have enough equipment for operations, we really do understand that, don't
Clearly,
we?
yes.
But the question is, that which has been budgeted for, has it been properly deployed? I mean,
$1 billion.
Yeah.
And that is just one of them.
That's just one.
Now, we have always had budgetary allocations.
Yes.
So what has been happening?
Running
Are they
into
equally part
trillions.
of security votes that cannot be investigated or accounted for?
Yeah, but the point there is when it comes to security, you can't measure security in tangible terms.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it is not like governors' security votes, such that you cannot audit what is happening to a budget. So how do you even measure performance of budget if you cannot, you know, probe it to?
Well, I guess you can measure performance based on the impact, the sense of security that each Nigerian has.
Yeah, but the point there is the feeling of security.
Yes.
You can't measure it in a cup or
No,
a
you
thermometer.
can't.
So the point there is when some things don't happen, then there's an impact.
Yes.
But the point there is how do you measure the extent of the impact when a bomb didn't explode in certain places? So you said that because our men were on ground, the vigilance was on ground, and then we carried out some surveillance and all of that.
Or you had some equipment.
Exactly. That was what translated to a bomb not
going
detonating
off.
exactly in certain places as a case may be. So you see, you can't measure it.
Good.
So
Now,
that's why it's a little more complex.
all the same, we can actually find out whether or not the allocations that be given to security
Are being
in terms
properly
of
utilized.
the military is actually being utilized for the purpose.
All right. Federal government slashes JAMB NECO fees. I guess this will be, I don't know whether it will be seen as good news for parents and students or, I don't know. What do you think?
Slash it from what to what?
From
Well,
5,000
JAMB
to 3,005. That is for JAMB, and then NECO from 11,000 down to I think 8,000 something from the report I read here.
Well,
NECO is 5,005 to 4,000.
It appears good news, but well, I just hope there will be no, you know, hidden charges here and there that you pay through the bank again or somewhere behind the, you know, those kind of activities. But then that is just one aspect of it, you know. But I think there is a need for more efficiency in JAMB so that the process, because as we speak, there are still a lot of challenges, even with results and the rest of it. We're not saying they don't release the results on time, but the process of admission and all the rest are still very challenging.
Need to be looked at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, NECO is from 11,550 to 9,850.
Okay.
And then the basic education certificate handled by NECO is reduced from 5,005 to 4,000.
Okay, good to clarify that.
We'll look forward to all of those. Ex-Super Eagles player, Etuhu, stands trial today for match fixing. That's really... Kogi lawmakers boycott sitting. Senate probes state's $500 million loan. And a Akwa Ibom assembly crisis. Senate orders probe women protest against CP.
Yeah,
the issues from Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly.
It's quite worrisome, but I'm very interested in the Kogi, you know, issue.
Okay.
That a state where a lot of bailouts have been made available.
Yes.
Loans are taken and here salaries are being owed. And I'm wondering whether there have been a lot of, development of infrastructure in that place, such that you can now say, well, these, funds are being deployed to this and that area. But that seems not to be the situation. So I'm wondering, really, the basis of this kind of loans and why the government failed to pass through the normal process for.
Well, these are some of the questions that the Senate,
are there no
proving
sanctions?
should be asking.
Are there no sanctions?
That's another matter entirely. Okay.
Well, the point there is whether the Senate has the powers to, probe or investigate funds by state governments is another issue altogether when it comes to the highest level.
As long as they have the power to approve, or that they are part of the process when it comes to collecting, loans of that kind. So they should certainly have a role to play.
All right, 2019 presidential candidates party's chairman to sign peace pact. All right, we heard that from former head of state, Salome Abubakar, who heads the committee. 49-year-old guard hangs self over death at Ekiti Secretariat. It's really a sad story that came out yesterday. Anambra Assembly leadership crisis deepens. And then on the front page there, the president was in Maiduguri to visit
the wounded soldiers.
The wounded soldiers in the hospital, military hospital.
All right, to the nation, Buhari orders troops to wipe out Boko Haram. Just wipe them out.
Has he not done that before? Is this the first
what
time?
are you trying to say now?
What I'm trying to say is that you don't need any order of wipe out Boko Haram. That is what he started with.
Okay.
And to the point that they were decimated. And now there's a resurrection.
They're technically defeated.
All right, we'll talk more definitely about this later on in the show. President hails officers, soldiers, Alkali's killers to face justice. All right, father of 5 hangs self at work in Ekiti. How symbolic is this, that this guard decided to take his own life right there in the glare of the whole world at the Secretariat in Ekiti? A very strong statement there.
Yeah, very strange. In fact, these days...
And the rate of suicide
it's
really
getting
troubling.
higher.
It's troubling.
And there certainly would be, certain indices that are indicating that, things are not going well. And this is one of it.
Things would not always go well. But when it gets to a point where a person feels or believes that, look, it is totally hopeless and the best thing is,
to take your life.
And it's usually not a day decision.
End it.
It's not a decision.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
you would have thought...
that thought would have been on for a while and all of that. And you keep seeing circumstances. There are some who give up to, such situations. They easily, surrender, that there's no hope. But
ultimately, someone would also say that sometimes it's not even about the problem itself. It is about the absence of that communal nature where we are all known to be very communal in nature. When you have someone, exactly, the support system. You have a brother, you have a, you have relatives, and all of that.
Communal lifestyle was in the past, not now.
Not anymore.
No,
and that is why suicide is even increasing, because the point there is that helps to cushion such kind of shock effects.
Yeah, but there are other places where, this communal life does not even exist. Is the rate of suicide the same?
No, because there's a welfare system on the part of government that provides some
you can
level
see that
of social security.
It is about well-being, it is about life, it's about, survival.
Very unfortunate development there. This really needs to be checked. It needs to be checked. 16.4 million naira fraud. Ex-IG Ehindero, CP Obaniyi arraigned. All right. Well, federal government cuts cost of JAM, NECO forms. What else do we have here? Federal government, states, local governments share 788.139 billion naira.
That is one very phenomenon that I'm not comfortable with. This idea of sharing. Yes. Well, there's no basis for sharing. There's simply no basis for sharing. It shows you that we are not federating. Because what is it? Sharing from what?
The states have been rendered.
Yes, and that is the only reason why some states could talk about we will not be able to pay. There shouldn't be any reason for sharing. What is supposed to happen is that everybody, does his business normally, pay your taxes when you need to pay.
At its own pace, based on its own, comparative advantage.
So the question of sharing as if there is one, godfather somewhere, who will be doling out things to the children.
But isn't that what it has become?
But that does not go well for the country, Nigeria.
From our standpoint right now, that is what we have. So
we're just running a unitary system.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course. The style is unitary, as one would put it. But,
if that is troubling, this next story should be shocking and even more troubling. Teenagers held for beheading boy, a 10-year-old boy,
Wow.
ambushed to contain bad guys. Now, more and more young people are actually believing
is that
you know,
a ritualist activity?
yeah, it's
or
looking
a
like it.
cultist
It's
or
looking
something?
like it. And these teenagers are actually siblings, two brothers.
It draws attention to the use of
honestly,
tramadol and all of these, all of the drugs that are available on the counter that NDLEA and other
Has been
agencies
shouting
are
about.
trying to.
and this showman lifestyle, where everybody wants to, you know,
Yeah.
get there in a hurry.
New Telegraph is our next paper now. Stay away from politics. Buhari warns military. Charges troops to eliminate Boko Haram. And ACF, why we wouldn't endorse Buhari Atiku. Okay. And Abdusalami Rivers Northeast flashpoints of 2019 polls.
They've always been.
They've
haven't
always
they?
been, especially in River State, one way or the other.
First, the instruction by the president to the military to stay away from politics. I think it goes beyond saying it, because you have created a fertile environment for. Normally, soldiers should not be seen everywhere. They shouldn't be. But today, even civil situations are being taken care of by soldiers.
Yeah, but
why would they not?
if there is a challenge that
yes.
goes beyond the,
That
the
is
police, wouldn't the
why
military
would a
be-
challenge of that nature go beyond the police? It means that you've not prepared the police well.
Well, I guess that's why the president has
So there should be more
he has thought
effort.
it wise
Yes.
to actually increase the police.
It goes beyond
allowance
even
and salaries,
increasing
because he has
the-
said, look,
yes.
the responsibility that really should be that of the police in the first place.
It's been,
you know,
you're
handed
dragging the
over
army
to
into it.
to the military,
Thereby,
and they are being overwhelmed.
good.
And there's a need to ease the military of
Honestly,
all this.
you see, so they need to be well taken care of, and above all, the number of personnel need to be increased.
200,000.
Honestly, it's too
200 million.
small to police a country with over almost 200 million.
Okay, Army, we lost 39 soldiers, 43 injured in 2 weeks. Says 23 soldiers died from Metele attack. Well, that is
coming out
that's,
with a,
that's the figure from the military.
Yeah,
but there are other figures that say there are over 100.
Perhaps they are acting in line with Additional's position that all over the world soldiers don't disclose figures.
It's not global practice.
Meanwhile, we've seen, you know, soldiers in different countries telling us different number of losses, and in some cases they give you real numbers.
Well, the point there is, in recent times, there hasn't been situations like this so much about soldiers dying so often and so on and so forth.
And that is why the number is
Akwa Ibom
contentious.
crisis, youths disrupt mobile operations, and Senate probes invasion of Assembly. APC calls for state of emergency. All right, we have EFCC recovers 116 cars and 20 property from suspected fraudster. And the issue of the sharing of 718 billion in
All this
October
monies
is there.
we're sharing.
Yeah, federal government slashes JAM, NECO exam fees, and ICPC rearranges ex-IGP Ehindoro over 578 million naira fraud. And federal government vows to recover $7 billion bailout funds from banks. Probes IOCs over tax evasion, warns Mobile to refund $1.9 billion. You know, monies.
Honestly.
Mention of monies all over the place.
And these are not monies that are well utilized. This mention is about how they are, you know, taken away in a dubious manner, such that they are now impacting negatively on the economy. And somebody who is supposed to be watching over this is just somewhere relaxed. It's worrisome, really.
All right, that's the New Telegraph.
Okay, to the Vanguard now. World Bank predicts wider 2018 federal government budget deficit. Okay, that's above the masthead there. It's not looking good
At all.
It's not looking
At
good,
all,
is
at
it?
all. However, let's hope that those are, you know, just mere prophetic declarations.
that those who handle the economy, both on the fiscal and the monetary
I
side,
wonder how
will
prophetic
sit
the
up
World Bank can
avoid,
be.
and avoid this.
I wonder how prophetic the World Bank will be.
However, you know, these are usually measured by indices.
It's actually
the World Bank does not-
projections, not
That is why I call it prophetic, you know, because we hope we don't get there.
All right, Boko Haram madness must stop. That's Buhari speaking there. The bold headline. We'll be talking more about that, of course, in the course of the show. Akwa Ibom women protest to demand removal of CP. We're not partisan, says the Commissioner of Police. Of course, he was only deployed there about a week or so ago. And both the governor, Emmanuel Udom, and now the women are saying, look, this CP really has to go, that he's been compromised one way
I hope
or
we are
another.
not having a repeat of the Mbu saga in Rivers State.
In Rivers, yeah. Revoke $1.1 billion Malibu oil deal, prosecute suspects, recover lost cash, reps insist. Well, beyond just saying it, what do they have what it takes to actually ensure that this happens? If all the investigations have been carried out and it's been found that some people have, you know...
How watertight is that investigation?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's another matter. Let's just go to Mr. and Mrs. It's interesting this morning. It's a gift. The husband is shouting, it's a gift. Why do you want to know if the grinding stone is from my people? And the wife says, I want to know if I'm married into a Stone Age family.
I remember growing up that time, and we
But
used
do you
to
know
learn
those
how to
grinding
use grinding
stones?
stones.
Yeah.
Do you know
It's wonderful.
The tomatoes and pepper, they taste different. There's something about the use of the grinding
that
stone.
time.
Yeah,
It's not like the blender.
I hope you had not tried to revenge that argument that, you know, firewood.
Firewood is better than gas.
No, I will not do that because we'd need to, you know, factor in the environmental impact. You know, so I won't even.
All right, this day is the next paper now. In a motivational speech, Buhari tasked troops to exterminate Boko Haram. I like the way
All the
put
papers are using
motivational
different
speech.
words.
That's a motivational speech.
Yeah,
Morale
exterminate.
charger. All right. Meets head of state of Lake Chad Basin today. The president is supposed to be in N'Djamena, in Chad today. The army admits 39 soldiers killed in Metele. Others, Abdusalami Ukiwe Kuka, expressed concern over Northeast. Yeah. Exactly. And the president was charging them towards 2019 to ensure that there's peace and to allow the electoral process to go on peacefully.
Yes.
Senate probes Akwa Ibom assembly crisis as police defend role. And federal government investigating Mobile for alleged $1.9 billion fraud, says Obonobla. Now, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia to partner on refineries. Okay, finally. OPEC considers output cut to stabilize prices. All right, because the last few days, the price have been nosediving.
Yes, but again, the issue of partnering in refineries, is it that we want to build new refineries, or do we want to waste money again
to fix the ones that are moribund?
We've always had the turnaround maintenance that end up turning around the entire situation into a dangerous So I hope that is not what is going to happen this time.
We hope whatever they have will be for the good of the refineries and the economy as a whole.
Expectation.
That's this day newspaper now.
All right, to the Daily Trust, and that's the last paper. Passengers stranded over aircraft shortage. So there's a shortage of aircraft in Nigeria now.
What?
And it's affecting...
I understand. The report from yesterday, there's one of the aircraft that the 10-year license he had expired. And they were supposed to renew and did not renew, so the authorities prevented them from flying. They have not flown since the past 2 days.
So the aircraft are
it's
there,
taking a toll on the
but they are not qualified to fly. That is the scenario.
Exactly, when it comes to license.
As a matter of fact, these local, aircraft, those that fly local routes, sometimes their vibrations and everything, it's so frightening.
Scary, right?
Yes, I'm telling you. They seem to be in a more dangerous, situation than even though, well, I expect that the ones that take international routes should actually be. But at the same time, we need to really focus on these aircraft to ensure that they are safe enough to fly.
Ultimately,
because at any point, once you're in the air, you're in the air.
Flying is flying.
Whether
if
you
you're
are
going
abroad
international or you're
anywhere,
going domestic, flying is flying.
So we really
it has to be safe.
There need to be enough attention. Those who
and there's
are
another
in
troubling
position to license
trend
them
in
should actually
the
look at their way.
airline industry right now in Nigeria. I mean, flights are delayed forever. And nobody explains to the passengers why, no apologies, tendered nothing.
Some certain airlines,
we've not really imbibed the
more than
culture.
others.
Yes. We've not imbibed that culture of, concern about our clients, particularly in the aviation industry.
Because it's a reflection of how we're not really a service-oriented people,
yes,
are we?
And there seems not to be, any interest in ever enforcing any form of rule to ensure that the rules are applied. It's worrisome.
Dr. Dan Ekere, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's always a
Thank
pleasure.
you so much for coming.
Thank you.